Good evening, I'm Willard Cheng sitting in for Pinky Web. Tonight, we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. The fight against dengue continues. In February this year, the Philippine Medical Association led the official launching of a coalition to end dengue. Amid efforts to fight dengue outbreaks in the country, a vaccine is under review with the Food and Drug Administration. Let's get on point with Philippine Medical Association Adhoc Committee on Dengue Advocacy Chair Dr. Erica Davillo. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening po, Sir Willard, and to our viewers tonight.
First off, kindly give us the big picture. What is the current dengue situation in our country?
Yes, of course, for this year, as we all know, the first quarter of the year, there's a lot of outbreaks, especially with the Quezon City. They announced that they have this outbreak. So from January to May of this year, we already have 124,000 plus cases, and most of them are children between 5 to 9 years old. So basically right now with the vector control program of the Department of Health and of course the End Dengue Coalition under the Philippine Medical Associations, we have this End Dengue Coalition program that can help to decrease these cases and to end dengue deaths in 2030.
124,000 cases.
Yes, from
that is a significant jump
yes, it is.
compared from last year.
Yes, po.
Yeah. What is the reason behind this, ma'am?
I think one of the reason, personally for me, one of the reason I think is that it's about the behavioral changes of the people, especially when it comes to cleanliness. You know, their yung pag-iisip nila pagdating dun sa mga ano bang dapat gawin, yung mga dapat ba nilang malaman, and yung kailangan nilang maging aware pagdating sa mga ganitong bagay, lalo na po pagdating sa dengue.
Oh. And as a refresher
Yes,
for our viewers, ano po ang dapat gawin para maiwasan ang sakit?
Of course po, number one po, dapat alam nila yung mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin. Number one, the signs and symptoms. If you have the fever, if you have the rashes and everything, kailangan po talaga agad magpakonsulta sa doktor, and they have to go to the nearest hospital, especially if they have the warning signs like rashes, abdominal pain, vomiting. So yun yung mga bleeding signs and symptoms like bleeding gums. They have to go to the nearest hospital and go to their nearest doctors. Of course, they have to be aware of the surroundings, especially yung paglilinis ng ating kapaligiran. That's the second part of this preventive control of dengue.
Oo. Yung lagnat, doktora, ilang araw po tumatagal?
Yes, usually nagtatagal siya up to 7 days. But the thing is, pag ang lagnat mo is 2 to 3 days, that's the time that you really have to go to the hospital para po ma-check yung ating CBC. And of course, we have to check on the platelet kung nagbumababa or hindi.
Doktora, parang hindi na apt na sabihin na seasonal itong sakit na, no? Dahil mukhang all year round.
Totoo po.
May dengue
So
cases
as we all know, last few
na-report.
years, sinasabi natin seasonal from July to October, lalo na pag rainy seasons. But I think this year, naramdaman natin ngayong taon, first quarter of the year, summer, that's the case when the outbreak comes into the Quezon City. So hindi natin masasabi talaga na seasonal. So that's the time na kailangan talaga nating mag-ingat and maging aware kung ano yung mga dapat nating gawin. Kasi feeling ko one of the problem is kung kailang malala na ang sakit, ang mga Pinoy tsaka palang pupunta sa mga ospital. So I think that's the one thing that we have to change for this, this kind of mga awareness.
Yeah. Nabanggit niyo po kanina, doktora, ang mga tinamaan halos marami dito ay 5 to 9 years old.
Yes po.
Masasabi ho ba natin na sila ang most vulnerable na age demographic?
For now po, yes, it is. But I think age bracket, iba-iba na rin. Kasi basically for now, iba-iba na rin yung mga tinatamaan. May adult, may seniors, any ages are nagkakaroon na rin talaga ng sakit na dengue. But I think they are the most vulnerable, especially when it comes to mortality. Especially dun sa kanilang health.
Yes. And how many dengue strains are now circulating?
Yes, for now there are 4 po na mga serotypes po na nagsi-circulate. As syempre nag-start tayo sa 1 and then now there are 4. But the thing is, we have, vaccines right now na been approved by the World Health Organization that the other countries are using right now.
Let's go to that vaccine.
Yes.
Ano na po ang status?
Yeah, so for now,
application?
for the status, the FDA, it's still under the studies under the FDA. Of course, countries have different regulations. So, iba-iba ang regulations. Although this vaccine, the Dengue vaccine or TAC-003, is already been approved by the World Health Organization and dumaan po siya ng pre-qualifications. When you say pre-qualifications, of course, the efficacy, na pinag-aralan po yan, and then the quality of it, and especially the safetiness of the vaccine. So, syempre, yun yung pinakamahalaga. So, of course, the other countries are using it, the 40 countries, especially this is the first vaccine that was approved by the European Union. So, we do all know that their FDA is sobrang taas ng standards. And for them to approve it, of course, talagang effective siya and safe for their people. Other countries as well, like Indonesia, in our Asian part, Vietnam, Thailand are also using it, as well as South America, like the Brazil, Colombia, and Argentina. They are using already the vaccine.
I understand ang latest development, Doktora, nakapagsabit na yung vaccine company ng risk management plan
Yes
sa
po.
FDA.
Yes. So,
ano po kahalaga ito?
Mahalaga ito kasi this is the turning point na hopefully sana this year ma-approve na yung vaccine. I mean, we are very much happy kasi the Department of Health as well is optimistic na sana this year ma-approve na ang bakuna. Kasi alam naman nating lahat, the vaccine saves lives. And I think this is the time for us na maging aware, vaccine acceptance, and hinihintay na lang natin talaga yung approval from the FDA.
Sino po ang uunahin kapag halimbawa na-aprobahan na itong bakuna?
Of course, for this, kasi hindi natin pwedeng pangunahan ng Department of Health. Of course, pagdating sa mga mass vaccination, call po nila yan. But the thing is, once the vaccine is approved, it can be used by the other population. But for the mass vaccination, that will be depending on the DOH call po talaga.
Doktora, gaano kaiba itong Dengue sa Dengvaxia?
Basically, this is a live attenuated vaccine. So basically, nagkakaroon siya ng protection sa ating katawan. And pwede siyang gamitin kung nagkaroon ka na or hindi ka pa nagkaroon ng vaccine na diseases. Yes po.
And how does the PMA plan to overcome vaccine hesitancy dahil sa kontrobersyang
Yeah, that's the reason why we formed the End Dengue Coalition. So we have this End Dengue Coalition, empowering networks to defeat dengue. So hindi lang siya mga doctors, hindi lang siya mga healthcare professionals. Kasama ang ating mga stakeholders, the international, the local government unit, and everyone, especially the community. Kasi hindi naman natin ito madi-defeat kung mga doktor lang and healthcare workers lang ang nagtatrabaho for this. So this is the time na we form this coalition para maintindihan ng lahat na this is the time for vaccine acceptance. What happened before is a lesson. But this is, especially right now, we see other countries are using it. It is important na makita natin na safe siya and the WHO is approved it and undergone the free qualification.
And if you can give us a background, Doktora, bakit po winidraw ng vaccine company yung kanilang applications sa Singapore and the US?
Of course, sabi nga natin, different countries have different regulations. So they have their own regulations. Of course, so ang iba-ibang bansa may kanya-kanyang regulasyon. So for that, the company have their own reasons for that.
And then, how do you intend, ma'am, to go directly to the mothers, to the parents of
Yes,
maybe children who should be vaccinated against dengue?
Basically po for now, just letting them know that the vaccine is used by 40 countries and it is safe. No other reports about, any side effects of it for this 40 countries. I think that's the time na masasabi natin na it's really safe to use. And I think hopefully ma-approve na siya ng FDA dito sa ating bansa.
And tingin niyo po, Doktora, itong bakuna, malaki ang magiging papel para ma-reach yung goal na reduction of dengue
Yes.
cases and zero dengue
Yes
deaths.
po. So we are supporting the vision of the World Health Organization to reduce the diseases, dengue diseases to 50% and end dengue deaths mortality in 2030. So that's the vision of the Philippine Medical Association Adhoc Committee on Dengue. Of course, we also support the programs of the Department of Health, their TAOB, TAKTAK, TAKIP programs, the 5S programs, and the other programs of the World Health Organization.
And just as a refresher to our viewers, ano po ang dapat nilang tandaan? Ito po yung 5S na po ngayon.
5S, pero meron po tayong tinatawag ngayon na alas 4 kontra dengue. So yun yung mga inaanyayahan ng Department of Health na every 4 o'clock is maglinis tayo ng kapaligiran. Then yung nga tinatawag na taob, taktak, tuyo at takip. Kasi usually the dengue usually sa mga stagnant water. So sa mga gulong, ganyan sa mga tires, sa mga
paso.
pots, Lalo na ngayong tag-ulan. Usually after typhoon or flooding, may mga stagnant water tayo. So just make sure na ang ating kapaligiran is talaga malinis po.
And what should the public know in terms of yung regulations natin dito sa pagre-review ng vaccine?
Yes, I think the FDA is just putting their time and making assurance for us Filipino na talagang before they approve this, it is really safe for the Filipino people. Kasi the reason why we are all here is to save lives. We as a doctor, that's our main reason, na walang, mamatay na kahit na isang Pilipino just because of that small dengue.
Oo.
Yeah.
Sa pakikipag-usap niyo po at pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga magulang, ano po yung sinasabi nilang dahilan kung bakit ayaw po nila magpabakuna? And ano po yung sinasabi ninyo sa kanila?
Yeah. For now, we have this certain experts. Well, we used to talk to the mothers especially. We have this program for them. We're just making sure na yung mga nangyari before is hindi na po mangyayari ngayon. And we're just explaining to them about the behavioral changes, the behavioral shift, kung paano natin kailangan tanggapin yung mga the vaccine acceptance when it comes to dengue. Kasi, for example, with the COVID, lahat tayo sumunod, and that's the reason why we are all here continuing our regular days. Diba? So sana sa dengue vaccine, ganun din yung pag-accept ng ating Filipino community.
Alright. We'll take a short break for now with Philippine Medical Association Adhoc Committee on Dengue Advocacy Chair, Dr. Erica Davillo. Stay tuned. This is On Point. You're watching On Point. Still with us, Philippine Medical Association Adhoc Committee on Dengue Advocacy Chair, Dr. Erica Davillo. Doktora, talaga nagtayo ng isang ad hoc committee ang PMA para sa dengue. Ano po ang naging dahilan para magtayo?
This ad hoc committee was formed. It was formed first last year. They have this first dengue summit last year, at June 25, 2024. And because of the success of that first dengue summit, they formed the coalition last February 18, 2025. So it was called the End Dengue Coalition. So empowering networks to defeat dengue. So not just the healthcare workers, not just the doctors, the nurses, but everyone. So that's why we called it networks. So this network was formed to support the vision of the World Health Organization to end dengue deaths in 2030, the mortality, and to reduce the cases to 50% in 2030 as well. And also to support the DOH programs and vector prevention programs.
And I'm sure, Doc, you intend to go down to the barangays.
Totoo po yun. So basically right now, that's what we're doing right now, especially with the help of the media. I think media is really play a vital role for this awareness and campaigns. So with the End Dengue Coalition, we have this called the 5 pillars. So for the 5 pillars, we have the epidemiology. The second pillar is the clinical management, na kung saan ang ating mga experts are undergoing studies, further studies, para malaman kung ano yung mga dapat na proseso, lalo na sa pag-treat ng mga dengue cases sa mga hospitals and clinics. The next are the vector controls, na usually yun ang ginagawa ng ating Department of Health with a different vector control program. Of course, the next is the vaccine development, na kung saan we are very optimistic na sana this year is maaprubahan na ng ating FDA. And the last is the communication and advocacy. So with these 5 pillars, we do believe and we are very optimistic na baka nga hindi pa umabot ng 2030 is maabot na natin ang vision ng World Health Organization to defeat dengue deaths.
Zero dengue deaths by
Yes, po.
2030.
Yes, po.
Tutungo lang ako, Doc, doon sa clinical management pillar and vector control
Yes,
program pillar. So, magsimula tayo sa bahay. Ano po
Yes.
ang do's and don'ts kapag meron ng mga signs and symptoms?
Yeah. So, syempre, yung mga kailangan natin gawin, pag may mga signs and symptoms na, katulad nga ng mga sinabi natin, may mga lagnat, papataas na lagnat, sumasakit ng buong katawan, ng mga joints natin, we have to be aware na we have to consider this as pwedeng dengue-related na siya. So the first thing that we have to do is go to the nearest hospital, to the nearest clinics, so we can be tested, especially yung ating CBC, yung ating dugo, para makita kung may trend ba na pababa ang ating platelet. Kumbaga, wag na tayong mahintay na lumabas pa yung mga warning signs like the rashes, abdominal pain, yung mga bleeding tendencies, kunyari, yung mga bleeding gums, kasi yun, nagsasign na siya, nasa severe, possible severe dengue siya. So yun yung mga kailangan tandaan, lalo na ng mga mothers at home or yung may mga kasamang bata po sa bahay.
Kasi karaniwang experience, doktora, baka sinasabi ng iba, naku, lagnat lang yan.
Yes po.
Pwedeng abutan ng paracetamol.
Yes po.
At, so, nasabanggit nyo kanina, 2 to 3 days, crucial.
Yes po. Basically, right now, tag-ulan. So, marami tayong pwedeng maramdaman. Pwedeng nga parang flu-like symptoms lang siya. Pero wag natin siyang ipagwalang bahala. So, mas maganda talaga na if you have fever, 2 days, 3 days, go to the nearest hospital. Let your blood be checked, especially for the platelet.
And common question, doktora, naririnig ko kapag halimbawa suspected dengue case, wala naman akong nakitang kinagat ako ng lamok.
Yes
yung
po.
mga ganyan. Ano
Yes
po
po.
ang
So basically,
sagot
that's the
po ninyo?
reason why importante na pumunta agad sa ospital. Kasi minsan, the other signs, hindi mo siya talaga makikita. But because of the laboratory tests, especially with the platelet, kung nakikita natin yung trend na pababa na siya. So that's the time na at least maaagapan po siya. And makakaiwas tayo for that severe cases and yung at least makapunta siya or mortality or something.
Doon naman po sa vaccine development pillar.
Yes po.
Doktora, kapag halimbawa nabakunahan na po tayo against dengue, sigurado na ho ba na hindi tayo dadapuan ng sakit?
And for that kasi, hindi naman sa hindi tayo madadapuan. But the thing is, hindi tayo magiging severe yung ating mga cases. So we will not come to the point na it can cause us mortality or death. So as we do all know, a vaccine is one of the prevention para magkaroon tayo ng immunity or prevention sa ating katawan.
And doon po sa communication pillar,
Yes.
ano po ang
The communication pillar, basically that's what we're doing right now. We have to make a voice, we have to take an action and stand on this. Minsan kasi ang Pinoy, pag isang sabi lang, nakakalimutan. So that's our goal right now. That's our position right now with the PMA. We have to be the voice of this Filipino community with the Filipino healthcare physicians. And sinasabi nga namin, dengue warriors. We are the dengue warriors. So kailangan naming i-push na we have to be aware of everything happening around us, especially when it comes to dengue po.
Talagang mukhang susi po ang pag-iikot sa mga bahay-bahay.
Yes
ano po?
Totoo po yan.
Oo, dahil doon po nagsisimula
Yes
sa mga
po.
bakuran at
Yes
sa labas, maging sa loob ng bahay. Oo. And then, doktora, ano po ang mensahe nila sa publiko?
Yes, okay po. So ngayon po, can I just share, because the Philippine Medical Association Adhoc Committee on Dengue Advocacy, we have this dengue hand sign. So the dengue hand sign, if you can see, so this is like parang mosquito head. And then our vision is to end dengue deaths in 2030. So this is the 20 and the 30. And with the 5 pillars, the epidemiology, clinical management, vector control, vaccine development, and communication and advocacy, we do believe and optimistic that we can end dengue deaths in 2030.
Alright. Ano po ang suporta na hinihiling po nila mula sa pamahalaan?
Yes
for
po.
support?
For now, we are very happy kasi the DOH, basically, they want us to have a memorandum of agreement with them. So they are supporting our initiatives right now when it comes to these 5 pillars. And unang-una doon yung pagiging optimistic nila pagdating sa dengue vaccine. Na they are also optimistic na this year, maaprobahan siya. Hopefully po sana.
Itong bakuna po?
Yes po.
At itong MOA, doktor, napirmahan na po ito?
No, we're just starting a MOA with them.
And what will this entail, ma'am? Ano po ang lalaman?
Of course, especially yung support ng ating pamahalaan sa mga programa, especially when it comes to, kailangan kasi natin ng statistics about this, especially when it comes to the hospital, ilan ba talaga ang cases, ilan ang mortality with the local government unit. So we need that help from the DOH with the local government unit, with the barangay health workers, para makuha natin yung talagang real-time na statistics, parang katulad nun sa COVID. So I think that's one of the things na kailangan naming simulan. And of course, that is with the help of the Department of Health.
Ngayon, doktora, gaano ho kahanda ang mga ospital natin, first of all, in public sector?
Yes.
Para
I think,
labanan ang sakit.
yes. For now, of course, with the expertise ng ating mga doktor sa ating mga public hospitals, I do believe that everyone is ready for this. It's just that we have to be prepared, lalo na ngayong tag-ulan, kasi nga, for sure, baka mag-i-increase ang cases ng dengue.
At hindi lang po dengue, no, doktora?
Yes po, marami pa,
Oo.
leptospirosis
Yes.
and other mga sakit po na nauuso po ngayong panahon ng tag-ulan.
Bukod sa dengue vaccine, doktora, ano po ang mga developments? May mga ibang bakuna ho ba kayong minomonitor?
For now, we are just focusing right now with the dengue vaccine because we're under the ad hoc committee on dengue. Of course, the PMA have other committee on that for the vaccine, and they're also putting effort on the other types of vaccine that could also help save lives, especially for the Filipino community.
Doktora, at what point po kayo na-alarma sa dami ng mga kaso, ano? Para magtayo po kayo ng isang ad hoc committee?
We were been aware of this since last quarter of last year. Then, on the same month of February, sakto po nung pagka maglo-launch na yung End Dengue Coalition, that was February. A day before that, the Quezon City announced outbreaks. So parang sabi namin, talagang timely siya. And I think this is the time talaga na we really put this End Dengue Coalition. So that's for the people to be aware. I think this is the first time that the Philippine Medical Association is so open na magkaroon ng ganitong klaseng campaign, especially when it comes to dengue.
Oh. And we're seeing kanina yung manifesto of commitment.
Yes.
Ano po ang nilalaman
The
nito?
manifesto of commitment, that entails the 5 pillars. So everything undergoes with the 5 pillars. Yes po.
And who have signed this manifesto so far?
The manifesto is signed by the different networks, of course, with the PSMID, the Philippine Infectious Diseases, the PCP, and we also have mga newsletters every month. So every people are aware dun sa mga actual or real time na mga programa. So last month as well, we have the 8th Asia Dengue Summit. It was held also here in the Philippines, and they are very much aware of what we are doing right now. Kasi before parang, syempre, hindi ganun kaingay ang Pilipinas and the Philippine Medical Association. But this year, we are really into voice, into action. Hindi lang into voice, we are really into action para matulungan ng World Health Organization, the Department of Health, to decrease the cases and to end dengue deaths in 2030.
Before we conclude, Doktora, ano po ang inyong panawagan, lalo na sa mga magulang?
Yes po. So ang pinakapanawagan lang natin sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na po sa mga parents, sa mga magulang, lalo na ngayon nag-start na ang pasukan. So they have to be aware, magtulong-tulong tayo. Maybe we can start with the school. Magtulong-tulong tayo maglinis ng paaralan. And of course, we have to think na hindi natin, yung paglilinis hindi lang dapat sa bahay, kundi dapat hindi lang tuwing alas 4. We have to have that behavioral change na kailangan. We have to be aware of the kapaligiran, and yung kailangan natin lagi maglinis ng ating kapaligiran. And of course, we have to be aware kung ano yung mga tama at hindi tamang gawin when it comes to mga signs and symptoms ng dengue.
Alright. Maraming salamat po sa
Thank you
inyong
so
oras.
much.
Thank you, Philippine Medical Association Ad hoc Committee on Dengue Advocacy Chair, Dr. Erica Davillo. And that's On Point. Join us again on Monday, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Willard Cheng. Thank you for watching.